Hunters, yesterday at noon, I was able to sit down with two staff from Niantic, and they gave King of Charmanders and I an inside look into the update tonight. So I'm here to give it to you now, since the update is currently live. So hopefully you're not watching this and you're out hunting right now, or you're watching this and you're about to go hunting. But if you're watching this video, the update is now live for you. And I'm recording this only hours before the update actually goes live, so there's not gonna be a bunch of fancy editing, sorry. But with that being said, let's go over everything you need to know about dancing in the Tempest. What we're gonna do is go over the trailer that was just released, link in the description if you haven't seen it yet, it's really awesome. And we're gonna discuss the details in a little more depth than what is shown here. So starting things off, we have Elder Dragon Interceptions, which does not go live until noon, your local time, on Thursday, June 13th. I just wanted to make that very clear. The update drops right now, but the Elder Dragon Interceptions will not be live until that specific time. But that doesn't mean we can't learn a thing or two about them. Kushala Daora is the first Elder Dragon in Monster Hunter Now, and it specializes in wind, which, fun fact, we don't have as an element as hunters. Kushala Daora is confirmed to be weak to thunder, dragon, and poison in Monster Hunter Now. And it will be part of its very own separate Huntathon style thing called Elder Dragon Interceptions, and it will be at point of interests or, gathering nodes that are just like Huntathons. And they'll look like this, which is so sick. And I was sent this as an asset to share with you guys, so I assume this is fair game, Niantic, but you accidentally leaked a new monster. That there in the background is Nightshade Paolumu, and it specializes in putting you to sleep, and it's weakest to water and fire. I have no information on when that's coming in the game, but I assume it's later in the Summer Part 2. Down here we can also see one of the very first quests that you guys are going through right now, A Rocky Awakening, and Chapter 1, which is titled A Summer Boot Camp. Supposedly, all I see is Summer Boot Ka. But that's where you have to fight Basarios. More on Basarios in a second. For now, going back to Kushala Daora, it actually has 2 health bars. So the way it works is we go to the Elder Dragon Interception and we go in this awesome looking arena. It's so sick. And we get to do a feature that was the thing mainly back in the old generations when Elder Dragons were first introduced, but now is in Monster Hunter Now. And that's the ability to repel Elder Dragons and not slay them. Essentially, you and hopefully your friends, it'll be sick to see someone solo this, but you have 75 seconds to get its first health bar all the way down. If you manage to do that, then the timer resets to another 75 seconds and you have the chance to slay it. It's unclear right now whether you have to completely get the first health bar down and start on the second health bar, but I'm assuming as long as you deplete the first health bar, you'll get to the second stage of the encounter. But if you don't, then it will be repelled and you'll still get rewards for your efforts. But if you do manage to get to the second stage, then the rewards will be greater and it will go into like a fury mode. So I'm assuming that maybe that's when the wind barrier comes out, because in the mainline games, Kushala has a wind barrier, which makes it very hard to get close to the Kushala. And currently we have no knowledge of how much wind pressure or wind proof is going to be helpful, but I guess we'll see tomorrow at noon. And while we don't have Kushala in the monster guide right now, but they did post monster guide stats on Instagram, so let's take a look at that. It says it doesn't have a habitat, except for Elder Dragon Interceptions. It says it doesn't have an element. It's technically wind, but yep, no element. And its weaknesses are thunder, dragon, and poison, like we said before. And the hunting tips are: while this monster is surrounded by wind, long-range attacks will have little effect, and it will be difficult to approach. So both long-range and melee will be difficult with this. I kind of love that because now we're on equal footing. It might be sick to see like bullets or arrows fly off. We'll see what happens. But it says if its head is broken, it will no longer be able to project this wind. Alternatively, its wind veil may be temporarily dissipated by breaking other body parts or inflicting poison. So, just like in the mainline games, if you poison Kushala Daora, as well as breaking other body parts, then it won't have its wind barrier up. So thank you for keeping that feature, Niantic and Capcom. It will be able to unleash powerful whirlwinds when it reaches half health, while also becoming more aggressive in its assault. So yeah, so essentially it will have its wind barrier, but once it reaches half health or the second health bar, it gets even more aggressive and will be able to do stronger wind attacks. That makes sense. However, part breaking and poison infliction are still effective in this state. The Niantic dev that we talked to specifically said it's gonna be really fun to see if someone can solo this, because they definitely made it something that you should have to have multiplayer to hunt. So I'm super excited for this challenge, hunters. And yes, if you're wondering, its whole body is covered in steel-like scales, so it's basically made of metal. In Monster Hunter Freedom or Monster Hunter Freedom 2, there was a Kushala that you could see that would like shed its skin, and so it like comes out of its metal body to create new scales. Just a little tidbit of lore, but it's so cool. But Kushala is going to be throwing us around with wind attacks. It can swipe wind, it can shoot us up in the air with little tornadoes, and it's going to have its wind barrier, so like wind everywhere. Get ready to be blown around. I hope you've been building a windproof build. Next up on the monster list is Kizu, or Kezu, whatever you want to call it, but it specializes in electricity and it looks odd. But I love how horrifying Kizu is. It's awesome. Anyway, it is weak to fire. It has a super stretchy neck and it'll sling it around and try to bite you. It has electric area of effects, so it'll like plug its tail into the ground. When you see that, get away from it because it's gonna just electrocute its whole body. And it can also sling lightning balls at you. So you're gonna get electrocuted, you're gonna get paralyzed. Kizu cannot see, it's blind, so it smells and listens for you. And in the mainline game, its theme sounds like this. Yeah, it's sick. So I hope they keep that theme from the mainline games and put it into Monster Hunter now. I guess we'll see right now. Anyway, moving on. Basarios is a rocky monster, and yes, you will bounce off of Basarios just like Kulu's rock, so be careful of that. In the mainline games, it's weakest on its chest. Your goal is to break that piece off, and then you can go ham on the damage, but there may be one or two other weak points depending on how they did it in Monster Hunter Now. But it's weakest to water and dragon. And I already went over some of the details for these monsters in that video over there. It's the news update version, if you want to see a little more info about the monsters. But Basarios can do fire and poison and put you to sleep, so good luck with all the status effects. If you see it start to hunch down, it's gonna make a gaseous emission of one of those three. Get away from it. Once the update is live, I will make sure to break down all of the movesets. Also, last thing I didn't think about, Basarios digs, so I really hope he doesn't dig mid-fight. He normally digs just to escape or just as a start to the battle, so I'm hoping he's not another digger, but that may be a thing where he also digs, like Diablos. But next up, we have our new weapon, Gunlance. Gunlance is such a cool amalgamation of a gun and a lance, and it works just as you think. You stab, stab, and you blow up things. So it looks like the main stabbing attack is a swipe up, where it will do a stab and then an overhead swing, and then if you tap afterwards, it'll shoot all of your bullets at once. And then you'll need to reload, which you do by simply swiping down. And if you do your hold action, it will charge up and do a burst fire. Just wait until your hunter turns red and then let it go. But you can actually follow it up with more shots if you tap after that. Remember that that will take up your ammo, so you're gonna need to swipe down to reload. But if you wanna do a full combo, hold for the burst fire, tap twice, that unloads all your ammo, hold again and tap, and it'll implant the wyvern stake, and it'll do damage as it explodes. You can see down below the different shots that it has and the wyvern stake, and whether you have it or not. If you reload, then you get it back. There is an overheating mechanic in the games. I don't know if that's a thing or not right now as of making this, but when there's a guide that I put out, it will be in that. And the special skill is Wyvern's Fire, which charges up an incredibly strong attack and explodes right in the monster's face. So sick. When you forge a Gunlance, it'll have 3 different shelling types: normal, long, and wide. The shelling types are specific to the Gunlance. So, for example, a Rathalos Gunlance will always have long range. That's not actually what Rathalos has, I don't know yet, but I'm saying if you forge a specific type of Gunlance, it'll always have that specific type of shelling, just like how bowguns have like specific bullets, etc. Normal shots have a high ammo capacity and also increase the power of burst fire. Long range has an average ammo capacity, and it also increases the power of charged shelling. And it obviously has long reach. Wide has a low ammo capacity, but increases the power of shelling overall. It has poor reach, but it has a very wide blast range. But man, it would be so sick if we could make multiple versions of the same weapon or armor. Something I've wanted to do with you guys for a long time is make like Zack's Arena quests where I challenge you guys to do a specific monster at a specific grade with a specific set of armor. But because we all can only make one of everything, it's so hard to do that in Monster Hunter Now. I would love if, sorry, I just almost knocked this down. I would love it if we could say, okay, make this grade weapon and challenge this monster, and then maybe I could send you guys a gift or something. That would be really fun to do. but that's just the basics. I'm sure there are a bunch of different combos you can do and a bunch of different nuances that I have no idea about right now. Next up is friend quests. I'm super hyped about this. The more player interaction we can get, the better. What was explained to me is that friend quest is a system where you can pick up to 3 other friends and kind of compete a little bit on quests that you agree upon. And it's over the course of a week. So each week you and your friends can compete. The rewards are pretty beefy. It looks like it varies, but here we can see an Earth Crystal, 3,000 Zenny, 50 season tier points, and 100 hunter rank points, just for gathering 100 times over the course of a week. That's sick. And then down below, slay any monster, and you get 20 carpenter bugs, I think that is. Could be god bug, don't remember. I don't really need bug parts for my stuff that often. 5,000 Zenny, 100 season tier points, and 200 hunter rank points. It says difficulty, easy, and medium, so I'm hoping that we get some really challenging ones. It would be awesome to cycle through my friends list and challenge all you guys to different quests like this. Awesome. Super hyped about this. When they showed me, I was just like, But once you commit to this quest, you can't leave it until the timer runs out or the quest is complete. And it'll show with gauges who the top contributor is and the top daily contributor is to the quest. I couldn't be happier with this. Thank you for making the friends list mean something. I want to see tons more friend features, and they reiterated to me that this game is best played with friends, so they are trying their best to think about ways to get us out in the world, but still allow us to hunt together. So this is another way to do it. Awesome. I can't wait to lose to all of you guys who play more than me. And then we have new layered equipment. A lot of it is Japanese summer festival themed. Super dope. Awesome, couldn't be happier. I'm sure there's gonna be other layered equipment with this season pass, hopefully, but if this is all we get, I'm still happy with it. This is really cool. And obviously more monsters are coming in July and August. One we've already seen. Again, look, I'm sorry if you guys are mad at me about that Niantic, but like, you guys put it in the screenshot. If I didn't say anything about it, then someone else is gonna say something about it in like a day. Hopefully you cleared out your item box earlier today so that you can hunt with vigor tonight, but remember we also did just get 250 new free slots in our item boxes, and there's more storage space available from the shop. And the limit to the amount of times you can upgrade the box has also been heightened, so you can upgrade even more even if you've already maxed it out right now. But that's pretty much everything I know as of this point. Right now, as you're watching this, I am out hunting. Our goal tonight is obviously to explore the new monsters and weapons and enjoy the monster density because there's tons of monsters being pushed right now, especially Kizu and Basarios. They are supposed to have higher spawns and they will be in Huntathon points along with Koropuke. But since I went so slow on the story this last season, my main goal tonight is to finish the season story just tonight. So look forward to seeing the progress of that very soon. Thanks so much to you for watching, and thanks so much Mark and Niantic and Capcom for sharing with me as a Capcom creator. I really appreciate it. I hope you're hyped for this update and Kushala tomorrow. I am super hyped. Thanks again for watching. Happy hunting tonight, and subscribe so that you can help me reach 10K before the end of the year. Until next time, hunters, see you later.
And even more monsters are coming this July and August. The hunt is on this summer. Monster Hunter Now. Download now.